Hello guys, in this video I'll tell you how to check your eligibility for Australian permanent residency. How you can check if you're eligible to apply for Australian PR or not. Also, all those IT engineers watching this video, please watch this video until the end because I've got very vital information towards the end of this video. Okay, so yesterday I posted this video which was the step-by-step process to apply the Australian PR. Now it got very good response and people straight away started asking for step one, which was the eligibility. So I decided to make this video pretty early. I'll provide the link to this video in the description box, or rather let me take you to this video straight away. So guys, this was the video that I was talking about. This was the step-by-step process for applying the permanent residency of Australia. If you haven't watched this video, I'll provide the link in the description box. You can check it out. So over here, you can check the first step actually was meant for the checking the eligibility of your visa application, if you're eligible to apply for the PR or not. So over here I'll tell you that the first and the foremost thing which you should check is the minimum points for eligibility are now 65. 5 points got increased on 1st of July. So over here you can see that there are two steps of checking the eligibility. The first one is the occupation check and the second one is the points check. You should check if your occupation is listed in the occupations list, and also you should check the points, how many points you actually score. If you score more than 65, in that case you'll be eligible. Okay, so let's start with the occupation check. So this is the official website of Government of Australia, and I'll provide this link in the description box. Over here they have listed the occupations. So first of all, let's just check these visa subclasses. So if you're applying for permanent residency, I'm talking only in that case, you should concentrate only on three visa subclasses: visa subclass 189, 190, and visa subclass 489, which is for state or territory nominated. Okay, so we have to focus only on these three visa subclasses. I'll make a separate video on it, so as you can, where I'll explain the benefits of it, the difference between these three visa subclasses and what do they actually mean. But for now, you just concentrate on these three and make a note in your mind about these three: 189, 190, and 489. Okay, before we proceed, let me tell you that these occupations listed over here are in the alphabetical order, so you can find your occupation. So what you have to check, let's suppose you are an accountant, so you have to check if you're applying for which visa you're applying for. You should know that. And 189 is over here, and 190 is also over here, and 489 is also over here. So if in case you are an accountant, in that case you can apply for all the three visa subclasses, and your assessing authority would be CAANZ, CPAA, or IPA. Similarly, somebody who is an agricultural engineer can also apply for 189, 190, and 489, and his or her application would be assessed by Engineers Australia. So all the occupations are actually listed over here. Anybody who is actually into IT or computers, into software computers, their profile have to go through the ACS, and of course they would be here as well. So 189, 190, and 489. So it's not the case that all these three visa subclasses will be there for all the occupations. You have to check for your occupation if it's there or not. So let's suppose somebody who is who's a database administrator. Again, you have to go through ACS. So this is something in regards to the occupation. You have to check. This is a big list. Of course, you'll definitely find your occupations over here. So You have to find your occupation, you have to check the visa subclass if it is applicable for your occupation or not, and also you have to check the assessing authority. So these 3 points you have to check from this particular page. I'll provide this in the description box. So this was about the occupation check. Now you have to check the points. Okay, so over here you have to check the points. There are different criteria. The first of all is the age. So when you talk of age, in that case you'd be awarded 25 points. If you are between 18 to 24 years of age, you'll be awarded maximum points, which is 30 for people who are between 25 to 32, and so on. So somebody who is above 45 years of age, you will not be able to apply for the Australian PR. So this is the eligibility criteria, that anybody who's above 45 cannot apply for the Australian PR. Okay, so now let me tell you about the English test. Okay, before I tell you about the English test, let me tell you a little about that in detail over here. So this is, you can see there are 5 different tests which you can give: IELTS, PTE Academic, OET, TOEFL, or Cambridge Assessment English, which is also called CAE. So for that, we can check over here. If somebody who is competent in English would score 0 points, proficient in English would score 10 points, and superior in English would score 20 points. Now, what does that mean? Somebody who is competent in English means that he or she should have at least 6 bands in each of the IELTS, or at least be in OET. Similarly, this is the score for TOEFL IBT, or at least 50 in PTE Academic, or 169 in CAE. So this is about the competent English, for which you won't score any points. For proficient English, I guess this will be the most common one. You should have at least 7 in each IELTS. This is this is required for if you want to score 10 points, and this will be valid for 3 years. Please make a note of that. It will be valid for 3 years. And at least be in OET. This is the score for TOEFL IBT, 65 minimum in each components in the PT Academic, and 185 in CAE in each component. So, and let's see what is superior English. Superior English means you should have 8 bands in each of the section of IELTS. Please make a note that if you have 7.5 in even one of them, you won't score 10 points. So please 20 points. So please make a note of that. Similarly, you should have at least 79 points in each section of PT Academic, or at least 200 points in each section of CAE, and you can check the score for TOEFL IBT as well. So guys, this was about the English. Okay, moving on, you would get points for your skilled work experience outside Australia and in Australia as well. So if you are less than 3 years of age, then you skill experience, then in that case you'll get 0 points. For somebody who's 3 to 4 years would get 5 points. Somebody who's 8 to 10 years would get 15 points. So which means that the more points you have, you would get more. The more work experience you have, you get more points for that. So guys, I'll just point out a small thing over here. Please watch this video until the end. At least all those people who are into ICT, which is anybody who needs to go through ACS, because there'll be a certain points deductions in case of somebody who's going through ACS. I'll just explain the concept to you in the last of this video, so please be with me. Okay, moving on. Anybody who has been there in Australia would of course score more points according to this table. Qualifications, which is the educational qualifications. So if you have a doctorate degree, which is equivalent to an Australian educational standard, in that case you would be getting 20 points. In case of a bachelor degree, you would be getting 15 points, and so on. Okay, for Australian study requirement, now this is an interesting one. I tried to search it, and what I found was this, that your course should be registered in this CRICOS website. When I tried searching for it, it was actually not available, so I couldn't get much information about this point in particular. When I'll try to do some research on it, and when I'll get some details on it, I'll certainly make a video on this one. Okay, so let's skip this one for a moment. After this, the if you do a master's degree by research or a doctorate degree from an Australian educational institution, so in that case you'll get 5 extra points, which means study in Australia, of course, is given weightage. Now, there are other factors as well, which if you have accredited in a community language, let's see what it does mean. It means that you have been accredited at a paraprofessional level or above for interpreting or translating the languages. Hindi is also there, so if somebody who's a Hindi to English translator or an interpreter would actually get 5 more points, but somebody who's accredited. So 5 extra points for studying in regional Australia. So in case you're thinking of studying in Australia, just make a note of this point as well, that if you study in the regional Australia, then you'll get 5 extra points when you apply for the PR. Now, partner skills qualification, very important point. You would get 5 extra points if your partner is also skilled professional, which means his or her occupation should be listed in over here, and skill assessment should also be done by the should be positive by the assessing authority, whosoever is the assessing authority of his or her occupation. So this was about the partner skills qualification professional year in Australia. Let's see what it is. It means that you should have completed in Australia in the 4 years. Your professional year should be completed in Australia in the 4 years before you're invited to apply for a visa in your nominated occupation or a closely related occupation, completed over a period of at least 12 months, and provided by one of these organizations. List is over here. So guys, this was the list, and you can go to this web page over here. I'll provide the link in the description box below. You can go over here and check if in case you meet the 65 points. I'm sure there will be many people who would actually meet this criteria. So in that case, you'd be eligible for applying the permanent residency of Australia. So anybody who is from IT background who needs to go through ACS skill assessment, there's something very important that I have to tell to you. So please be with me. Okay, now all those people working in information and communication technology, which is the ICT sector, all of you would be assessed by the Australian Computer Society, which is ACS, as I just told you. So I've got a small bad news for you. It goes like this. Let's suppose you did your bachelor's in IT or CS. In that case, and you had a work experience of 5 years, in that case actually ACS would deduct 2 years, and you would be given points only for 3 years. If you worked for, let's say, 6 years, but your engineering was in non-IT field, in that case your 4 years of your work experience would be deducted, and you'd be given only 2 years. So guys, please take a note of it, that in case you haven't studied from IT and you are working in IT, in that case 4 years will be deducted, so you should calculate your points accordingly. ACS says that they deducted to meet the Australian standards. I don't find any logic behind it, but this is how it is. Alright guys, so I'm here in the PDF from the official website of ACS, and if I drag you to the two examples mentioned over here, let me just quickly search them. They've mentioned it very clearly. They've given 2 examples over here. The first one is about the employment completed after the qualification. The second one is before the qualification. They've mentioned that, let's suppose you complete a relevant bachelor degree with a major in ICT on 31st of January 2008, and you have 4 years of relevant work experience from 1st of April 2008 until 31st of Jan 2012, which means complete 4 years. In that case, 2 years of work experience will be used to satisfy the suitability criteria, and your skill level requirement met date will be 31st of Jan 2010, which means straight away 2 years will be deducted. All suitable work experience completed after 31st of Jan 2010 will be considered as the skilled employment and eligible for the skilled migration points test. So it is clearly mentioned over here that the 2 years of work experience used to satisfy the suitability criteria is not eligible for the skilled migration points test, but is assessed to meet the suitability criteria. So straight away 2 years will be deducted from your work experience, and that goes for everybody who has studied from CS or IT background. And for all those people who haven't studied from the CS and IT and belong to the other mechanical, civil, electronics instrumentation, engineering, all those who are actually working in IT, they get 4 years deducted from their work experience. So guys, thank you for watching this video. This was the complete information that I wanted to provide you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe. If you think that this video will be helpful to your friends, colleagues, or somebody in your family, please forward this video to them.